Are you tired of charging your smartwatch every single day or every other day? Do you like to track your outdoor runs and maybe 100 other types of exercise? Do you like a watch that has a slim profile and will measure an enormous amount of health and fitness data? And do you want to only spend $120? Stay tuned because we have hands-on with a new watch from Amazfit. Hello, this is Matthew Miller, also known as Palm Solo, and the watch that I'm talking about is the Amazfit GTR Mini. I've been using this watch for about 3 weeks now, and it's quite a package, especially at the $119.99 price point. So in the past, I've looked at quite a few Amazfit watches. You know, there was the Amazfit GTRs, the GTSs, the T-Rexes. I have the GTR 4 here and the GTR Mini here, and I don't know if you can see in this, I'll show in pictures, the size difference is pretty significant, and the GTR Mini really is quite a mini device, right? But the thing is, it might be a mini device with a 42 by 42 by 9 millimeter size, but it has a large display, right? 1.28 inch AMOLED display with 416 by 416 pixels. So a brilliant display, very good resolution on it. And it's very slim, right? That 9.25 millimeters thickness, a stainless steel bezel around it with a single button on the right. This one is the midnight black one. It does come in misty pink and ocean blue as well. And they're on Amazon, $119.99 each, right? So the stainless steel bezel, the black plastic back, a 5 atmosphere water resistance so you can wear it wherever you want to, not having to worry about it failing or anything. The big thing here, this is a slim watch with a brilliant display, even has an always on capability for that display, but this thing will provide 14 days of typical usage of battery life. So you're charging it a couple times a month. And if you're using it for GPS tracking, and it has 120 sports modes in there, but the GPS tracking, just straight GPS tracking, is 25 hours. So you're going to get a lot of running out of this. In my typical week, you know, I might run half an hour to an hour 3 times a week. So I can go weeks, the same 14 days typical usage with a 24 hours GPS. I can go a couple weeks between charging this thing. And it's just a simple magnetic charger. It just attaches on the back. But this watch is pretty full functional, right? It supports blood oxygen measuring, heart rate, stress, sleep stages, and then all 5 GPS satellite systems, so you're getting pretty accurate GPS out of it. The GTR Mini is a very capable device, primarily a health and fitness device, but also a little bit of a smartwatch. So this is the standby screen. If I push the button up here, we can see we jump into the watch face, and you can customize from hundreds of watch faces on here. If you swipe down, you'll see a bunch of quick settings that you can customize there. Swipe over to see more, and then swipe back up to release them. You can also swipe up from the bottom to see notifications and clear those notifications if you want to. And then if you swipe left and right, you'll see a bunch of various options and widgets and things. This screen, you can see kind of like Garmin, it has some glanceable type things. And then if we swipe, continue to swipe, we see the selected widgets that I might have loaded on there. There's that PAI assessment score, the weather, and you can scroll up and see more of the weather. If you tap into it, you can actually go into the app itself and see even more details. Jump back out, various options and things like that. Now, if we also wanted to, we could press and hold, and we'll jump into our fitness options. And there's many sports you can set up. I primarily have some of the things that I like to do: outdoor running, walking, treadmill, many apps and workouts that you can choose. If I choose something like outdoor running, you'll see it'll try to find the GPS. If I swipe up, I can go into more settings here. And the nice thing is you can even go into customizing your displays, right? So that's one default display. If I swipe down, I can add pages and add more displays as well. And you can customize this quite a bit to be able to have much more than you see with some of these basic watches. It's a very capable GPS sports watch experience with that. Sort the pages, delete the pages. I mean, you can really customize a lot out of it. And you swipe back to go back into it, and then get back to the start screen there. And you can customize those for all those different exercises and things. And if I single press this button, it comes up to an app launcher, right? Similar to kind of an Apple Watch and the other ones, you can swipe through different apps. You can reorganize these, decide which ones you want on there or not. And that's kind of a walkthrough of the operating system on, this is the Zep operating system on the Amazfit GTR Mini. In addition to the powerful Zep OS in the watch itself, one of the most powerful things about the whole GTR Mini experience is the Zep smartphone application. This here is the home page, and you can customize what appears on here. I've got sleep, heart rate, the PAI numbers, got my recent sports and runs, and then you can edit that data card as well. And if I was to go into something like one of my recent runs, you could see the details of my run. If I swipe up, I can see all of the actual data that is collected by the watch, heart rate zones, cadence, stride, my training effect, splits, and a bunch of other things. There's quite a bit contained in that area. And then if I jump over here to health, we see a couple of other aspects of it. My target goals that I have, I can also edit the cards and add more. And then if we jump over here to profile, we can see the connected devices that I have. There's also things at the bottom, such as the goals, the routes that you have, records, a bunch of other health related things. But if I jump into the GTR Mini here, you can see the status of the GTR Mini as it currently is, health monitoring options, including sleep, stress, blood oxygen measurements, notifications and reminders for different apps and phone calls. Now it doesn't have a mic or a speaker, so you can't take phone calls, but you can be notified of those phone calls. There's even things like standing reminders and goal notifications, things like that. And then the watch faces. And as I said, there's a plethora of watch face options available to you. And then there's even an app store for a few apps. There's calculator, water time, real-time heart rate. There's quite a few little apps in here. I haven't explored this too much because I like what's included by default, but there are quite a few apps nowadays that they didn't used to have on these Zep watches. And even when you go into watch settings, you can control brightness, vibration levels, do not disturb. There's just a ton of settings and management things that you can do here on the app itself that also controls the watch, right? So sorting your apps, you can do it all here on the smartphone application that will sync to the watch, and then you can have the watch experience without having to mess around on the watch itself to set all of this up. And as you can see, there are quite a few options for these different apps, and then there's some specific app settings as well below that. So there's really just a ton of customization that you can do with the GTR Mini, and I have to say it's an amazing experience, and for $120 it really can't be beat. You know, I'm in the enviable position of being able to test a ton of different wearables out, right? From Garmin and Apple and Coros, Samsung, Google, a bunch of those things. And I have that opportunity to test a bunch of wearables. I buy a bunch of wearables and things, but I have to tell you, boy, it was really tough to not really consider something like a $120 Amazfit GTR Mini. This thing provides all that I want. It's extremely comfortable. It's very slim. I can sleep with it on at night and not even worry about, being uncomfortable or anything. So you get accurate sleep tracking with it. It's just a very capable watch, and I encourage people to take a look at it. Thanks everybody for watching. Talk to you later.